Good morning to everyone. My name is Christophe Boyer. I am Technical Officer in IEC Central Office in Geneva, Switzerland. And I am responsible for TCSCs in the IEC, around 40 TCs right now. So welcome to everyone to this IEC Standardization Project Management System presentation. So particularly, I have noted a few TCs which are represented in the attendees today. So welcome to TC 99, SC 34A, TC 104, TC 27, and SC 121B. And welcome to all the other ones which I forgot. So today, we will cover first some generalities about project management in the IEC. Then I will give you a short presentation on the project dashboard and its submission forms to provide documents for circulation to IEC Central Office. And then I will give you a short online demonstration of this tool. So don't hesitate to ask me questions through the webinar interface if you have any. So a short reminder on the IEC deliverables. So the main deliverables are international standards, technical specifications, technical reports, and publicly available specifications. Most stages in the development process of an IEC deliverable are accompanied by a form to be submitted to IEC Central Office. And in IEC Central Office, the administrative assistant as well as a technical officer will arrange the circulation of the document. We provide a set of templates for all the IEC forms, and these are available on the IEC website by using the links here that I have highlighted. And then you will find this page with a list of all forms to be used for circulation of documents in IEC. So we will focus now on the development of an international standard, and the ISO IEC directives part 1 give guidance on how to develop a project. And we have defined 7 project stages. The first one would be preliminary stage. So this is where we declare a potential work item, PWI. Then we have the proposal stage. This is where we request national committees to express their intention to participate in the project. And we need a minimum number of participants as well as positive votes. So we request 2/3 of positive votes from the IEC national committees and at least 4 or 5 different countries participating. So we have cover pages on the documents, the NP cover page for the new work item proposal to collect the votes, and then we have the RVN, which is the result of voting on the new work item. These are documents which are circulated to the IEC national committees. If the proposal is approved, then we move on to the preparatory stage, stage number 3, and this is where the working group is set up with all the experts involved. And there is internal work in the working group, and at this stage, no document is officially circulated to the IEC national committees. Then we move on to the committee stage, number 4, and this is where the TC or SC will request comments and feedback from IEC national committees. So we circulate a document with the acronym CD. This is a committee draft. The resulting document is CC, compilation of comments. So at this stage, there is no vote, only comments from IEC national committees. And then we have steps number 5 and 6 with inquiry stage and approval stage. At both stages, we request the national committees to vote and approve the draft. The first vote is the committee draft for vote, CDV, and the result of voting on CDV is called RVC. The final draft international standard is FDIS, and the result of voting on the FDIS is RVD. For both stages, we request 2/3 of positive votes from IEC National Committee's P members, participating members in the TCSC, and less than 25% of negative votes from all national committees, including observers and non-members. And then we have the next stage, which is the publication stage, number 7, where the document is published in IEC Central Office. We have a number of stages which can be skipped. For example, the preparatory stage, if the working draft was prepared during the new work item, we can skip the preparatory stage, as well as the committee draft. It is not mandatory to issue a committee draft during the standard development process. Similarly, if CDV is approved and no technical changes are made after the vote on the CDV, we can proceed directly to publication. No questions so far, so I will move on. This is a reminder of the document circulation in weeks. So here you will find again the acronyms, which I briefly presented in the previous slide. So new work item, you can circulate it for 4 weeks. This is quite new, and this should be done only if you attach an outline, so a simple table of contents, to the new work item proposal, so that national committees don't have to make too many comments. And also another condition to use this document circulation of 4 weeks for a new work item is that the proposal is assigned to an existing working group, so that national committees don't have to appoint any experts in addition to the existing ones. Or the default circulation period for the new work item is 12 weeks. For committee drafts, it is possible to issue a committee draft for comments for 8, 12, or 16 weeks, 12 being the default circulation period. The CDV committee draft for vote will be circulated for 12 weeks, FDIS for 6 weeks, draft publicly available specifications for 8 weeks, as well as draft technical reports. Draft technical specifications will be circulated for 12 weeks. And then we have documents which are not related to projects. These are DC, document for comments, and Q, questionnaires. And for this, we request a minimum of 6 weeks circulation. So some generalities regarding document circulation. In the IEC, documents are always circulated on Fridays. Therefore, the circulation date indicated of the cover page of the documents is always a Friday. Similarly, the closing date for voting will also be on Fridays. And the circulation periods are now calculated in weeks instead of months in the past. This was decided by the SMB and is now also included in the latest edition of ISO IEC Directives Part 1. Which has been recently published 2 weeks ago. So the documents should be submitted to IEC Central Office for circulation. So we request that you submit the documents in Word format. When sending a complex document, it is best to submit the document in both Word and PDF format so that we don't make any mistakes during the conversion of the document from Word to PDF. We will also ask you to specify if the document needs to be circulated with revision marks, except for CDVs. We try to circulate documents within 1 week following their reception, but if you want to make sure to have them circulated the same week as you sent it, please provide it as early as possible during the week, ideally on Monday or Tuesday. Now the project's dashboard. So this part, I will present you a new interface that is accessible only by TCSC officers. Okay? It is an extension of the TCSC dashboard where you will find the work program. The work program is publicly visible and gives the information of the current stage code and the next project stage. In the project's dashboard, we will find additional information and the possibility to move on for each project. So since November 2016, we issued an administrative circular to inform that TCSC officers may use the IEC online projects dashboard to submit documents for circulation to IEC Central Office. Here is how it looks like. So the TCSC officers may now create new projects directly from the interface, and so they will see their work program with a list of active projects in their TCSC. For each project, you will find the project number, current stage, next stage, and the expected actions, with eventually action dates, which are the target dates for the next actions. How does this work? The project's dashboard is an interface to transmit information between TCSC officers and IEC Central Office. So TCSC officers include secretary, assistant secretary, chair, and vice chair. The secretary is formally responsible for this interface and the exchange of information with IEC Central Office, but we have also granted access to other officers just in case the secretary is not available. And on the IEC Central Office side, we have the technical officers, the administrative assistants, and also the IEC editor who can communicate with the TCSC officers. So this is the project's dashboard, and with this new interface, TCSC officers will be able to submit project documents. So I have listed all of the specific documents along the project development process. But also at some stages, the IEC editor will ask questions regarding the editing of the document at FDIS and publication stages. And here the secretary is expected to respond via the project's dashboard. But we also use emails for all other types of documents, which are administrative circulars, draft agendas, document for comments, documents for information, questionnaires, result of questionnaires, and meeting minutes, and also for any other correspondence. Of course, we accept emails. I see that I have received a question. So Mr. Steinke asked me if it is a must and not a may. So I guess the question is related to the usage of the project's dashboard. It will soon be a must because we were missing a few functionalities in this system regarding particular workflows with dual logo, with ISO, but also interpretation sheets. So right now, we don't enforce the use of the project dashboard, but very soon we will issue an additional administrative circular to announce that it is mandatory. This should happen next month. Thank you for your question, Mr. Steinke. The project dashboard, the access to the project dashboard is restricted to the TCSE officers, so the chair, vice chair, secretary, and assistant secretary. But also the French National Committee will submit French translations to IEC Central Office via a specific dashboard, so that we also have an interface to exchange documents with the French National Committee regarding translations. And in the future, we will also open this interface to national committees who will be able to submit new work item proposals directly in the system via a specific dashboard. The benefits of the project dashboard is that the current and next stages for each project are displayed, and there is a clear indication of the expected actions and associated time limits. It's really a dashboard for TCS officers to manage their project's portfolio. Each action has its own associated submission form, preventing issues with inappropriate form usage. In the past, when we received forms only via email, it was quite often that the form was not appropriate. And the submission forms are now pre-filled with information retrieved from the database. The project reference is there, the superseded documents, the project titles, the information if the project is of interest to other committees, the functions concerned, and the voting results. I see a question. A question regarding the new IEC collaboration platform. So there will be no change with the new IEC collaboration platform because the new IEC collaboration platform will replace the existing collaboration tool suite, and this is used only at the working group level. The presentation today deals with the circulation of official IEC documents to the national committees. Okay. And the system will validate the data submitted, preventing inappropriate data entry, particularly regarding target dates and mandatory fields. And the late projects will be highlighted in red. The IEC projects dashboard will send automatic notifications to TCSE officers at various stages in the workflow. For example, when a form is rejected by IEC Central Office, and we will provide a justification for this rejection. When there are also questions from the editing, figures, layout, editing manager, technical officer at both FDIS and publication stages. But also when the editing of the CDV, draft technical specification, or draft technical report is completed. The sender is projects-dashboard@iec.th. So please make sure that you receive the emails from this sender. The emails will be sent to the secretary, and we will CC the other officers. The tabs in the IEC project dashboard, so you will find two main tabs. The first one will be the work program that will allow you to create new projects, but also to submit documents related to ongoing projects. And the second tab is publications. Here you will find the full list of publications under the responsibility of your TCSC, and you will be able to submit review reports. RR documents. To maintain the publication, so start new editions or new amendments, or to withdraw the publications. But this has to be done after a TCSC formal decision, of course, either by correspondence or at a plenary meeting. The project's dashboard. Here is, for example, a list of projects for SC62C. You will see under My Actions only the actions which are assigned to the TCSC officers. It is here the responsibility of the TCSC officers to submit the revised RVN or submit a committee draft. Okay. If you click here on the button View All, you will see all actions which are not under the responsibility of the TCSC officers. For example, here you see the system actions, which will close the commenting period, but also the French National Committee actions, and here the action from the administrative assistant and technical officer. Of course, you will not see the button to execute the action. This is under the responsibility of other individuals. All actions, I have listed here all the acronyms used to show who is responsible to perform the action. SYS is the system, SEC is TCSC officers, AATO is administrative assistant and technical officer, MGMT is the technical department manager, editing manager is this one. We have also layout, editing, and figures. We have the French National Committee and publishing. The sequence of action. It is mandatory to submit the compilation of comments, so CC and RVC, with the observations of the Secretariat prior to the submission of the draft. In the compilation of comments, there is a decision regarding the next project stage, which enables the next relevant action. For example, in the CC cover page, you need to check the box either A, B, or C. If you check the box A, for example, to inform that you will distribute the next draft as a CDV, so you will go for a vote. This decision, once validated by IEC Central Office, will make the next action available, which is the submission of a CDV. But you need to provide this information first. Now the submission forms. This will completely replace the cover page in Word. Okay, you won't need to fill in Word cover pages anymore. Here is an example of a web form to fill in a cover page for committee draft, CD. And you will see that the product number is already filled in, as well as TCSC, Secretariat, Secretary. You can pick the number of TCSCs that are interested by this document. We have already filled in the superseded document information, so the previous document was a review report. And you can just focus on the upload of the Word file, okay, and the commenting period. You can also upload a number of additional files in this web form that will be received by IEC Central Office. We have online help text on these web forms in case you need any assistance. For example, if you click on the label of interest to the following committees, there will be a pop-up with some guidelines. Similarly, if you click on functions concerned, there will be another pop-up that will make reference to the guides. Similarly, on the label Upload CD Word file, the additional files, so you can upload any type of file, and this is possible in all submission forms. Please indicate in the field Information to IEC Central Office how these files should be handled. If these should go out to the IEC National Committees or if it is only for IEC Central Office usage. The note from TCSC officers. This note is also available in all submission forms, and you can indicate here any information which is of interest to all IEC national committees. This note will appear on the cover page of the circulated document. Information to IEC Central Office, it is also available in all submission forms, and you can indicate here any information which is necessary for the administrative assistant and technical officer to process this document. And obviously, this information will not appear on the cover page of the document so that the IEC national committees will not see it. The project dashboard, so you will find buttons on the top of each form. Save as draft. This button should be regularly used in order to avoid losing any information prior to submission. Particularly when you are filling in new work item proposals, it can take quite some time, so that's why we recommend to use Save as Draft regularly. Submit button. This button is used when ready to submit the form to IEC Central Office, and it will send out a notification to the relevant persons. I have a question regarding the exchange of information with ISO committees. And this is not part of the presentation today, and the project's dashboard is not linked to ISO. So the answer to this question is that you should send emails to ISO to coordinate for dual logo projects. Now the cancel button, this button is used to clear the form from the last action information filled in by the TCSC officers and send them back to the TCSC dashboard. Any previous information filled in and saved by the TCSC officers will remain. Interaction with other IEC systems, other IEC IT systems. So the project's dashboard is linked with the expert management system so that when you select the project leader in the new work item, RVN and RR forms, there will be a selection from the expert management system. But also the voting results will be automatically retrieved from the voting system so that you can prepare the relevant voting reports. And of course, it is also linked to our back office where we manage the membership of working groups, project teams, and maintenance teams so that you can select existing working groups, project teams, and maintenance teams when you prepare NP, RVN, or RR documents. There is also a link to, so the working group, project team, maintenance team is responsible for the project, and it is selected in the NP, RVN, and RR forms. New projects can be assigned to an existing working group or project team. And you can also create a new working group or project team at this stage. And only existing working groups and project teams are proposed since maintenance teams do not develop new products. Review reports. So the maintenance works can be assigned to an existing working group or maintenance team, and you can also create a new working group or maintenance team at this stage. And we propose only existing working groups and maintenance teams, since project teams are only assigned to new projects, edition 1. The project leader linked to the IEC expert management system. So the project leader is indicated in the new work item proposal, the result of voting on new work item, and the review report. You can select him or her through a smart search, which is limited to 40 records. And if needed, you can refine your search criteria with an email address or first name plus a blank space plus the surname. If the project leader is not registered in the IEC expert management system, you will need to select the option New Project Leader. And we will request that you enter the first name, the surname, the email, and the national committees of the project leader. And then IEC Central Office will register the project leader at the approval of the project. The link to the IEC voting system. So the voting results on NP, CDV, FDIS, DTS, and DTR are automatically retrieved from the IEC voting system and will be pre-filled where on the forms of result of voting. So I won't list all of them. And if a NP is rejected due to lack of experts, the voting results may be modified in the voting system after the closing of the votes, as P members have 4 weeks to nominate additional experts. And now I will give you an online demonstration. So I open a browser, and how will you access to the project dashboard? I recommend to use My IEC. And here under My IEC, you will see under the tab Manage Projects, the link Projects Dashboard. We have a very short guide, very simple guide with a couple pages to guide you through the main possibilities of this interface. So let's click on Projects Dashboard. Okay, so here, as I explained, you have the work program, publications, and you can create a new project. Okay, let's work on an example. So we have here SC34A, and I guess that we have attendees from SC34A today. So let's take this as an example. So here I have a specific access as I am from IEC Central Office, and I have an admin option where I can perform all the actions. But here the secretary is responsible to manage the preliminary work item. So he can simply remove it, submit a new work item to move forward and start officially the project, or simply revise the existing line on the work program. Here we see that the document is currently being commented. CD stage, you see when I mouse over on CD, it gives additional information. The draft is circulated as CD. The next stage here is the preparation of the CC document, and we see immediately as action date the closing date of the CD document. The CD document will close on 29 June. If you want to find more information about this project, there is an hyperlink here on the project reference. And this will open a new web page where you will see the history of the project and detailed information. Back to the project's dashboard, we see here that we have one late action, which is under the responsibility of central office. So right now, the FDIS has been submitted by TCSC officers, and it is being checked at IEC central office. And our layout team is a little bit late. Okay, we were supposed to validate this action 4 days ago. Let's take another example. Here we have this project which was approved for FDIS. We have two options: submit revised RVC, so a revised voting report, or submit a FDIS. We always propose the possibility to submit a revised voting report so that the observations from the Secretariat can be filled in. Once this is done, the Secretary can submit the FDIS. Okay? This action is not mandatory, but in our system, we don't have the information if the result of voting is complete or not. We check this manually. We also have one late action here. Again, our layout team, who is very busy right now, will validate the technical report for publication. So congratulations to SC34A officers. All their projects are up to date and there are no late action on their side. Let's take another example. Again, I will pick a TCSC from the participants list. So let's take, for example, TC104. So here, as IEC Central Office, I have access to all IEC TCSCs, but you, as TCSC officers, will see under committee reference only the TCSCs for which you are appointed as officer. So let's take TC104. So here, the first one, we see CCDV. The draft is circulated as a CDV, and the voting will close on the 22nd of June. Then the officers will need to prepare the RVC. So I have received a question, but I will address this later as it deals with review reports. Okay, let's move on to TC104. Here we are preparing the result of voting on FDIS, and our administrative assistant and technical officers are working on this one, and it will probably be circulated this Friday. But all the projects are up to date, so it's really important that TCSC officers regularly consult this project dashboard to ensure that all the actions are up to date, and particularly have a look at late actions for which you will need to contact the working group conveners and or project leaders to try to identify if there's been an issue in the working group. Usually, the target dates for voting reports and compilation of comments are set by the ISO IEC directives part 1. For example, here, the target date to submit the compilation of comments is set by the directives. And I don't have an example that I wanted to show you for drafts, but the target dates for drafts are defined by the TCSC officers when circulating the voting reports. Let's take another example, TC27. Okay, so here we have a few late actions. So I recommend the TCSC officers to work on the preparation of the compilation of comments together with the relevant working group conveners. So these target dates are defined by the directives, but this target date has been defined in the review report where the TCSC officers decided on the project plan together with the convener. Okay. Let's open a web form to see how it looks like. So here I will click on Submit CC. Okay, here you will have all the information pre-filled in, and we will also provide you a link to the report of comments from the IEC voting system. So if I click here, it opens a new page, and here I am able to download the original CC file from the voting system. Of course, this is the file that you need to consult and fill observations from the Secretariat on each of the comments submitted by IEC national committees. Okay, I'm receiving more questions. Ooh. Okay, time for questions. So first I will respond to the one from Mr. Lagerstrom regarding the RR. The question was, Dear Christophe, I wonder one thing. When a review report is circulated to start a revision in a maintenance team, 1 week before, for example, the circulation of a following CD, and if any, all of a sudden, a national committee has any objections, are there any specific IEC procedures to handle this problem? Or is it up to the committees, national committees, to decide how to proceed? So when you issue a review report, it shall be based on a formal decision of the TCSC members. You cannot circulate a review report without having before a formal decision. How can you obtain a formal decision? You need to decide that you initiate the revision during the plenary meeting or by correspondence. There are two ways to obtain this information by correspondence. You can circulate a questionnaire or a document for comments. As soon as you have this feedback from national committees, feel free to issue a review report. Thanks for this question, Henrik. Okay, next question. This question is from Mr. Van Lier. Dear Christophe, thank you for using SC34A project dashboard as an example. I have a related question on access to revisable CDVs. I know they can be reached via the new doc link, but as subcommittee officer, I do not have access to the revisable CDV. Should that be dealt with by my NC? Yes, I guess. I'm not sure because I have access to the revisable CDVs, but you should, yes, please double check with your national committees if they can grant you access to the revisable CDVs. Okay, for the audience, what are revisable CDVs? Here, I invite you to access to new docs via tools and applications. And here you have the new docs list of documents. And eventually, you will see revisable CDVs and revisable FDIS. These are specific permissions. You need specific permissions to see both tabs. So please check with your national committees if they can grant you this permission. Thanks for this question, Mr. Van Lier. Okay, no more questions? So I go back to the compilation of comments. Here, the secretary is supposed to decide together with, in fact, it's a decision of the chair in cooperation with the secretary. But of course, the convener, project leaders, and working group members needs also to be consulted. There should be a consensus decision on what would be the next stage. So you have three options after the CD. You can decide to go to a CDV, or to circulate another CD, or to discuss the comments at a meeting. Okay? I show you here how to retrieve online help. You see, I just clicked on the label. Similarly here, if I click on the label, I have online help. Note from TCAC officers, I invite you to add any information which might be of interest to all IEC national committees. This note will appear on the cover page of the document. Okay, I have a question from Mr. Boynton, who says that the PowerPoint file seems not to be able to open. Can you please verify if it works? Okay, so here under handouts, I uploaded the PowerPoint file that I have just presented. So Mr. Boynton says that it's not working properly. Do we have any other issues with this? Can any other attendee try to download it to see if it works, please? And let me know if you face similar issues. I will try, if this doesn't work, I will try to send via email to all of you the slides that have been presented today. Okay, I have feedback that it works for another attendees. So, okay, sorry, John, maybe it's an issue on your side. Okay. Then I will quickly, we have 5 minutes left. So, Mr. Boynton, yes, I will send you via email the presentation. So here I will click on cancel in order to not mess up with TC27 data. But I just wanted to show you on the test database how it looks like when we submit documents. Okay, here I am on the IEC test database. I go to the projects dashboard. Let's go, okay, let's take this as an example. So you see this is all data. What I wanted to do is submit revised CC, for example, for this one. So let's imagine that I want to go for a CDV. I select a target date. I upload a Word file. This is a note from TCSC officers. And here I will have best regards information for IEC Central Office. When you click on Submit here, this will send a notification to IEC Central Office. so that we know that we need to process your document and circulate it as soon as possible. You see here when you have a large number of projects on your work program, you can use the project number here to find quickly your project. So here I have the action from IEC Central Office to process the revised CC. So here I show you what happens in IEC Central Office when we receive your document request. You see here that I receive your form with your document and file, and I have here an additional box which is only for IEC Central Office. So I will have the new document number. The system will propose me the date of circulation. And here I have an option to generate the cover page based on this information. So I will click it here. This is only for IEC Central Office. And here I have a little tool to use to generate the cover page. You see here, okay, I retrieved the document, the CC document for this project, and I will generate the document. Okay, so this is what happens in IEC Central Office. We generate the cover page, and so that all the information which was on the online form is now in the appropriate Word form. Okay, so that we just need to check everything. And you see here that even the note from TCSC officers is retrieved from the online form. Then we can attach the CC document to it, to this cover page, and circulate it. We create the PDF. So you see here, I just need to upload the PDF, the Word file also, the complete Word file, so cover page plus its contents, and then I accept it, and the document is ready for circulation. See, now it will be circulated on the 25th of May. Any other question from the attendees? Please send me your question through the webinar interface. Otherwise, this will be the end of the presentation. Okay, one question. No question, but thanks. Thanks to you, Mr. Hübschmann. Okay, if you have any question later on, please feel free to contact your technical officer and administrative assistant. We are always here to help you and guide you through the usage of the project's dashboard. So thanks to everyone for your attention, and I wish you a nice day, and see you eventually later on. Bye-bye, everyone.